Welcome back to the vlog and welcome to Hoskins, West New Britain, Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan. We're heading from Hoskins all the way down to Port Moresby today. It's a 2-hour flight, so let's go ahead and get started. Get my blowers going. All right, low start. Watching the NG over 14%, reduce my low idle. Watch my oil pressure come up. Watch my NG come up over 30%, 35%, then I go up to the ITT. And watch the trend of that, because once it goes over 35% on the NG, I won't have a hunk start, more than likely. Then I'm watching the ITT rate, so I don't have a hot start. Right, generator on, prop forward, RV2, alternator and aux bus. Right, well, it's 98 degrees in the cockpit right now. We're going up to 18,000 on the way down there, so it should cool off quite nice in here another half hour or so. Wondering what this yellow thing is? It's a life raft. I have my life vest right there, but I'm gonna be over land for the next half hour, so I'll put it on once I go over water. I'm just too warm right now to be wearing that, so I'm gonna call up Moresby and do my area call. All stations Hoskins 127.1. Kodiak November Tango Echo will be taxiing Hoskins, Port Moresby. We'll be on climb 18000. Moresby 6622 November Tango Echo taxi. Alright, we'll call them here up and once we get airborne. Not able to get a hold of them right now. Fuel caps and selectors are good. Our controls are good. Our system's already set up. We're climbing up to 18,000. And we've got 1,600 pounds of fuel on board, so nearly 6,300. So if we rotate to 59, come back in at 69 if I had to, for a case of emergency or whatever else. So 59 and 69. Switches and instruments are good, T's and P's are all good. Upset. Our trim set up. And go ahead and start our taxi on over there. Taxi lights on, and we're clear. We don't normally do this route. I've only done it one other time, and that was for a medevac a few years ago. But I'm going down there to Port Moresby to pick up some missionaries that just came in from the States. They have to use our aircraft to go up to Goroka where they'll be quarantined and whatnot. So I'm here for the week. I got to run over there, up to Goroka, and then all the way back here this afternoon, and I've already done an hour flying this morning, so yeah, it's going to be a really long day. Alright, trimming to board. If we're not 15 knots by the 1,000-foot marker, we'll abort. Idle, full reverse, heavy braking. If we're going off for any reason, cut off, pull off, and shut off after takeoff. We'll pitch for 85. Consider our emergency power lever, otherwise consider our feather. 80 full flaps, it's super windy out. Depending on, there's a little field off to the straight ahead, off to the left, I can go there. Cut off, pull off, and shut off. Emergencies, masters, and crack my door, close to the ground. All stations Hoskins 127.1 November Tango Echo rolling runway 12. Outbound track 207 will be on climb 18000, all stations Hoskins. Strobes on. Lighters on. Do our taxi call here in a minute once we get airborne. Then we can hopefully get a hold of them. 37 degrees Celsius right now. 1520, so 1470 for 1520. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. And we'll do that in a minute. 1520. Rotate 59. Right, torque is set. There's 45, there's 55 at 500. There is 59 and rotate. We got my ITT set right at the top of the green, which is 740. I can keep it at 740 for 5 minutes before I have to make a reduction. We have a lot of wind shear because we've got 2 volcanoes over there, 1 over there, and 2 up there, and just a bunch of little hills and stuff. And I've got 11 knots right now, but once I get a bit higher, I think it was around 20 some knots at around, I'm thinking maybe 1,500 feet. So the wind is just swirling as it comes over here. So don't want to go anywhere near those 2 volcanoes over there, because the turbulence between the 2 of them is pretty severe. I've done it once. That was enough. Right over 85 knots, I'm going to go 10 degrees of flaps. Nose is going to want to drop down a little bit, just give it a little bit of back trim. We'll go 0 degrees over 90 and climbing. Bring our prop back to 2,000 RPM. And we haven't even had to adjust our power lever. Our ITT should drop from 740 pretty close down to 720. Now just give it a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds to kind of just whittle its way down on its own so I don't have to make adjustments. I haven't done anything and it's at 720 right now. So if you have your power set right at 740, it should do that in theory. All right, bypass back to normal. Our igniters are turned off. And we'll go around this hill, so we're on the upwind side of it, not the downwind side of it for the wind, because it's coming this way. And it'll be a lot smoother ride, and it'll also give me some nice, like, updrafts for climbing out, rather than downdrafts on this side. Just because I have a bunch of clouds out here in front of me, I'm going to just see if I can pop up over them, rather than having to go through them. The minimum safer right here, getting to the other side of the island, is I think around 65 to 7,000, which I'm nearly at anyways, but I'll just start pitching up, climb out at about 100 knots. That's the lowest speed I can use my autopilot with. I just have it on heading mode right now. So I'll climb out at 100 knots. Best rate of climb, VY, is going to be like 99 knots, and then it goes down every 1,000 or 2,000 feet you go up. But we just keep it at 100 knots and it does pretty well. It still climbs out usually around 1,150 feet per minute, which is pretty awesome. Alright, well, we still have nearly 45 more minutes to go before we get to Ulrig, so we'll pick back up when we get closer to there. Anyways, I thought I would show you guys what I actually have in my life vest here, if you're wondering what is actually in here. We have an EPIRB right here. It's like lanyard to the vest so it can't actually come off. Then we have this like a streamer that goes on the water. You can just clip it on to whatever you want. Then we have our seatbelt cutter, and it's also tied on so these things can't fall off of you. But we put it up here up higher just so that you can reach everything, and then you can get a little bit further away from you as well. Anyways, there's like a knife blade in there to cut your seatbelt or whatever else you want to cut. And then we have this. We have an air tank. Put it out for you. It's also lanyard to this thing right here. But anyways, you just basically take this off, stick that in your mouth, and then just start breathing. To get these things certified, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff as well. So, get that back in here. Then on the other side, we basically have just like a lanyard that you can like clip together with people. So underneath of it is just like your standard.
November Tango Echo Moresby.
November Tango Echo, standing by for clearance.
ACC clearance in the control area. Check Abbey Moresby, Kira, North Moresby, enter at 18,000, code 0342. Contact Moresby radar 1199 East Moresby at 140 DME Moresby.
With Moresby via Ulrig, Girwa, Moresby, enter 18,000, code 0342. Contact Moresby radar 119.3 at 140 DME. November Tango Echo. Right, so they use the VOR right up here, 117.0 for the distance. So I already have it in this nav2. Now let me switch it over there. So I have 117 now in the nav 2, and once we start picking it up, we'll get it right here. So I need to put my code in here before I forget, or I will forget. 0342, and confirming that. Yep, okay, so once I start seeing a little R right here flashing, I'll know that I'm being picked up with radar. I still got about another 7 or 8 minutes before I get into their airspace, just 20 miles, or correction, 23 miles, and that airspace starts at 15,000, goes up to 24,005, I think, 24.5. So my next frequency is going to be 119.3. Then after that, pretty sure it's 128. So let me just quickly bring this up here for you guys. So we have the airport. They might have me do the DME step down. I've never actually come in this way, but maybe once, like 5 years ago. So I'm not 100% familiar with what they're actually going to give me. So I already looked up what my arrival procedures are, just so I don't sound like an idiot on the radio. And this is the most likely one they're going to give me, is just the DME arrival via the DME steps coming in. That's what I've heard other airlines coming in on this one in previous times. So Jackson radar is 125.8. Gonna get that in there as well as our ATIS of 128.0. So I'm just setting up all of my different frequencies. Let me switch over to radius first so I can remember to get it rather than having it on Jackson radar. So the next one is going to be Moresby radar, and that's kind of like your we have like center, and then we have approach, and then you go to tower. So their Moresby radar is like center, I think that's right. And then you can correct me if I'm wrong down below. And then we go to that's Moresby radar, and then Jackson radar. That is like the approach, and then they swap you over to tower. But if they're for some reason their radar isn't working, then they're going to be Jackson approach. That means that the radar isn't working. I know, it's super confusing. Anyways, yeah, 140 DME eye contact, Moresby, which is probably just right here when I start getting into their airspace. Moresby radar, November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, Moresby radar not yet identified. Report level and estimate Moresby.
Maintaining 18,000, estimating Moresby time 0118.
November Tango Echo, Roger, standby for descent clearance.
November Tango Echo. Alright, we're just approaching Guinea now. Let me bring on the aeronautical so you can actually see airspace. So at 140 miles, that's where I called them in, is about right here. So Guinea, I'm just now starting to pick up radar every once in a while. I can see the R just flip on and then off, and then that's it. So I'm guessing probably about right here is when I'm actually going to be picked up on radar. Confused on why I wasn't going on the 049 radial, or whatever I'm doing now. She wanted me to come in on the 049 radial, more or less probably just to stay out. Rather than going directly to Port Moresby, she wanted me to come out here so that I could get lined up for 14. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I am tracking.
Alpha Tango Delta,
Fuel approaching 10,000.
Alpha Tango Delta, reading you forward.
Alpha Tango Delta, Roger, identification terminated, contact Moresby 120.9.
Jackson radar, November Tango Echo, top descent.
November Tango Echo, show delay for descent.
November Tango Echo. More than likely it's just the airplane that's right here. Short delay until we get past each other. He's, yeah, about 2,000 feet below me. So once we get past, he'll probably get me lower then. Okay, so we have information hotel. We're expecting a visual left base.
November Tango Echo, descend 15,000.
Descent 15,000, November Tango Echo. Right, so just 1,000 foot more to go, but that's all right. We'll get there. So, I might have to go through these clouds on my descent, but I don't know if I will have to or not. Let me just bring open our GME arrival coming in here. We're coming on the heading of 239, so that fits in between the 216 and the 290. We are going off of our VOR, so down here 48 miles.
Number Tango Echo, descend 1000, not below DME steps.
Descend 1000, not below DME steps, no, Number Tango Echo. Alright, I can take off my oxygen now. I could also take off my vest, but that's too much of a pain, and I'm too close, so I don't really feel like doing that, so we only got 9 more minutes before we're landing. November Tango Echo approaching 1000.
Number Tango Echo, descend 6000, not below DME steps.
Descend 6000, not below DME steps, November Tango Echo.
Number Tango Echo, expect radar vectors for the ILS 14 left.
Expect radar vectors for the ILS 14 left, November Tango Echo. Alright, let's get our approach in here, 14 left, we'll do vectors. It's beautiful out, but I know it's... actually, I don't know what it is, let me quickly look. Approach, 14 left.
India Delta, descend to 4,500.
450. Descend 4,000, and we'll load 500 here, India Delta.
Number Tango Echo, report heading.
231, November Tango Echo.
Number Tango Echo, for sequencing, we'll vector you right of track, turn right heading 285, above radar minima.
285, above radar minimum, November Tango Echo. Right. Turn to heading, 285, clear to 6,000. Go down to 17, so yeah, we can go all the way to 54, so we can go all the way down to 6,000, even if we do go into these clouds here. Down to clear to 6,000. Now 12 miles out. We're going to be doing the ILS 14 left, so I just swapped over my CDI to localizer number 1, which is that. So I still have 117.0, which is the VOR here. So, alright, I'm going to slow down before I go into these clouds here. We'll get our selectors here in a minute. Our TAWS is still enabled, our VREF. 56, almost 57, so 65.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo. Number Tango Echo, descend to 4,500, above radar minima.
4,500, November Tango Echo.
Number Tango Echo, and track adjustment, turn right heading 300.
Right, 200, November Tango Echo.
Sagre again, 5 check back ready.
Watch it with Sagre, also 14 left.
Hold short, 14 left,
Echo,
5
right heading 300.
300, thank you, November Tango Echo. Alright, she'll have me going in here to the left here in just a second.
Soon Delta Tower, continue 14 left.
Continue 14 left here in Delta.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo, confirming your requirement, remain at least 1 mile east of the Riga Road. Traffic rolling off shortly.
Right, Quebec maintain 1 rating, contact Jackson Radar A1, 14 left, clear for takeoff.
Okay, 14 left, clear for takeoff, maintain runway heading radar A1,
500, above radar minima. Stand by for base turn.
Send 3,500, November Tango Echo. Alright, she's gonna have me turn in here in just 1 minute.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo. Identified 12 miles.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo 8 and 1,406.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo, roger. Continue, correction, expect a mid left downwind. 14 right.
Mid left downwind, 14 right.
Number Tango Echo, about 14 miles to the north, turn left heading 230 base.
230 base, November Tango Echo.
Number Tango Echo, descend 2,500.
2,500, November Echo. Alright, 2,500. 230.
Sierra Delta, runway 14 left, clear to land.
Number Tango Echo, continue left heading 10 pilot and sector 3 localizer, and you cleared for the 14 wireless approach, 14 left, report established.
Turn left 180, cleared for the ILS at 14 left, and report established, November Echo. Right, 130, we're still coming down. Hit nav, that's on the approach. Turn my fuel on. Degrees of flaps. About 800 foot-pound of torque.
Hotel Foxtrot Romeo, cleared visual approach, continue for mid-left downwind. Expect to hold east of the field and stand by for transfer.
Visual approach, hold east of the field.
Alright, nav, turning left. November Tango Echo established on the ILS 14 left.
Number Tango Echo, stand by for transfer.
At probably 10 miles, she'll switch me over to tower, which is just another 1.5 miles. Glide slope is starting to come in, so that's good. I am at my 2,500 feet, so now I should actually be able to fly the actual approach coming in. We've got 10 degrees of flaps. We're looking for 110 knots indicated. Top full forward. Collectors, good. Jackson approach, November Tango Echo, 900 miles.
Number Tango Echo, contact radar, correction contact tower 118.
Contact tower 118.1, November Tango Echo. Jackson Tower, November Tango Echo, established on the ILS 14 left.
Hotel Foxtrot Echo, contact tower.
Number Tango Echo, tower, good day, continue 14 left.
Tower now, 1181.
Continue 14 left, November Tango Echo.
Jackson Tower, Hotel Foxtrot Romeo, we established mid-left downwind, runway 14.
Right, now that I'm established, I'm going to bring my torque back down to around 400, so my speed does not increase over 110 knots. What I'm going to do, autopilot off. There's a lot of traffic here today. I'm going to speed myself up. 30 degrees of flaps. Speed myself up so I can get in here a little bit quicker. There's people waiting at the end of the runway and they don't need me just putzing in on a nice VFR day, so. Get my torque back up to 1250. My speed up probably up to 150 knots now.
Number Tango Echo, will you accept 14 right for landing?
Hey, from 14 right's fine. November Tango Echo.
Number Tango Echo, continue 14 right.
Sidestepping for 14 right, November Tango Echo.
Alpha number Lima, line up 14 left.
Line up 14 left, Alpha November Lima.
Number Tango Echo, 14 right, clear to land.
14 right, clear to land, November Tango Echo. Alright, there is 1.5 miles. Start bringing my torque back. Way down to about 200.
500.
Prop starts disking a little bit. That'll help slow down a lot. 10 degrees of flaps.
Minimums.
20 degrees of flaps. We're cleared to land.
Confirm the uniform, descend 2,500, cleared for the 14 wireless approach, 14 left, contact tower, 1181,
Just 20 degrees
10
of
miles.
flaps for the time being, just so I keep my speed up around.
Alpha number Lima,
But they don't have two airplanes going and coming in PNG. It's like one. Right, full flaps checklist is complete. Just go up to the next one. The nice thing about Jeppesen is it actually flips over to your taxi charts when you land. Super handy. It flaps up, low idle. Anyways guys, this is Port Moresby. I hope you guys enjoyed that flight. Really, really nice weather out. We don't come into these kind of places very often, so my workload was definitely up higher than it normally is. But I definitely enjoy coming into these kind of places for sure. All right, let me turn off here. I wish they had taxi signs here in Port Moresby, but they don't. Jackson ground, November Tango Echo Kilo 1, requesting taxi MEF hangar.
November Tango Echo ground, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, November Tango Echo. All right, strobe off, landing light off, and then back just to taxi on my little taxi light. If you guys do enjoy these kind of videos, be sure to subscribe. Put out videos a couple times a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. And thank you all for helping me get over 100,000 subscribers just in like 6 months. That's pretty incredible. I'm kind of blown away by it. And only to thank you guys, so thank you very, very much. Alright, shutting down, get my fuel, 1,030, perfect. I was hoping for 1,000. 81.3, and shut down, taxi light off, aux bus, generator, alternator, and cut off. Thanks again, guys, have a good one.